I'm not usually that keen on doing video responses because it might look like I'm trying to take advantage of someone else's video, or like that I'm stealing their idea. But I just thought it was a good idea, and I think a lot of self-injuriers do lie to themselves. But they do lie to other people, but to themselves a lot when self-injury is going on. And I just thought it was quite a good idea. So I decided to make a video response. Hitting and scratching myself and hitting my arms with objects doesn't count as self-harm. I'm not bleeding, it's not leaving scars. No one's going to suspect anything if they see a bruise on us. It doesn't count as self-harm. And now thinking back over it, it is self-harm because self-harm is not just cutting. It can be nipping, biting, burning, which I've never done before, but that's the main thing that I like to myself about, because I do often hit myself when it comes to self-injury. If I self-harm and it didn't bleed much, or I only made 1 or 2 cuts, that doesn't count, because it was only 1 or 2, it was just a tiny bit, and it doesn't matter. I can push that aside and act as if it didn't happen. And I do that a lot of the time. I act as though it didn't happen, and I'll just kind of wipe it from my memory, but really I know that I did do it, and it's just kind of pushed to the back of my mind, and it's like, that didn't happen. But it did. And the bad thing about that is I'll be counting how long I've gone without self-harm, and say I went the 10 weeks that I lasted last time, the last longest time, I relapsed when it got to week 11. But in that time I had hit myself. That's all I'd done. I had only, and it happened once or twice, but it still happened. So technically it wasn't 11 weeks, but for me it was the longest I'd went without cutting, but not without self-harm. And the bad thing is that if I have little slip-ups, I'll not count them, so I'm saying that I'm going longer than what I actually am. If what was the point in stopping self-harm when I've got scars all over my arms anyway? I've got scars on my arms and my legs. What's the point in trying to stop self-harming when I've got scars? It's just gonna add to it, but my scars aren't gonna get any better, so there's no point in stopping. There is a point in stopping, because you're gonna stop yourself from getting more scars. And this is kind of what I've got to tell myself, because there'll be a day when hopefully I've overcame self-harm and I'll be okay with me scars. Of course, there's so many reasons to stop self-harm, and I'm not going to sit here and list them, but that sounds like there is no reasons, but there are. I've got my own reasons. Maybe I'll make a video on them. It doesn't matter if I self-harm on my legs, because I don't like my legs. My legs are really fat and disgusting. I'm short, and my legs are short. I wish my legs were longer. My legs are the worst part of my body in my opinion, and I can self-harm on my legs as much as I want because they don't matter to us. That's another silly thing. Well, it's not really silly, but it's just, I can't really say that because it's my body, and I shouldn't be harming my body. I should be kind of looking after myself and having respect for my body, kind of. And of course it matters if I self-harm on my legs, because they're still part of me, and I shouldn't really be putting myself down, but that sounds a little bit impossible. Can't actually think of anything else that I say to myself. Other than sometimes, a lot of the time, when I'm trying to avoid it, and I think if I hold the blade, nothing is going to happen with it, and I'm going to sit here and hold the blade, and nothing is going to happen, which a lot of the time fails, and I end up doing it anyway. I think they're the main things that I kind of convinced myself are things that I just pretend aren't going on with the self-harm. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'd like to hear if anyone has a similar way of thinking, or if anyone else lies to themselves. But thank you for watching if you've got this far. Yeah, feel free to comment and say any lies that you've told yourself, or if you want to make a video response and make a big long chain of it, then feel free to do so. See you soon, hope you're all okay. Goodbye.